it is. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, RT.
Good morning, Tommy.
I feel like we didn't sleep on the same page last night, man. So I just want to say I'm sorry.
I don't
And
have time for this morning.
that I love you.
Please, please,
Good
please.
morning, everybody. What's up, Sharon? What's up, cousin? Um, I don't have a joke for today, but I do have some toilet thoughts. Working on a new section here. Nah, I'm playing. Welcome to the Love Brew podcast, man. I'm your host, Tommy T, and this is Artika, my wife, my beautiful wife. I be feeling like you gotta say beautiful because I think she's pretty.
Okay. What is wrong with you this
I don't
morning?
know. I don't know. My back still hurts.
Yeah, Lily is pissed off at you for
Why?
hurting your back.
For hurting my shit. Me too.
Good
Hey,
morning,
Karen from
Karen.
California, you up early?
What is it?
Is the sun up?
5:43. The sun is not up in California.
Well, you know, like it.
It's not up in
I
California.
I thought I might ask.
Okay.
I thought I might ask. Seeing I've never visited California.
I actually got sent an event that I wanted to go to, but it's passed for this year. Um, I think it's called Black Vines. It's a black um wine event that happens, and I think it's in Oakland.
Oh, Karen, does the sun because of daylight savings time? The sun comes up later now, right?
Does it
Okay.
come up later now? Yes, Black
What
Vines.
is that?
That's what I was just talking about.
That's a wine thing.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Actually, my cousin sent me a list of black wine events because I've been saying for years I wanted to do a wine tour. And we've been talking about doing the one in North Georgia, which obviously is not going to be as much fun as going, somewhere else.
Yeah.
But the reason that we haven't done the one in North Georgia is because life was life and somebody was pregnant, pandemic.
Yeah.
So
I thought he came up later, man. No, I
no,
thought the sun be up at like 7:30 now.
you spring forward,
Yeah.
so that automatically puts life at an like earlier time
But it goes down later.
because you went forward. And then the earth is also rotating.
All right.
So at some
That's why
point,
I'm saying the sun comes up later in the spring.
the sun is going to start coming up earlier. Pay attention when Lily gets ready to go to school for the rest of the school year.
I am.
Okay.
I have I've noticed that the sun. Anyway, I ain't finna have this argument with y'all.
I'm not doing this
I
today.
ain't doing this today.
I am not
I feel
doing
like Bernie Mac.
this.
I ain't playing with you. I ain't
I
scared of
am
you,
not.
mother.
Yes, he has windows. I don't know what's wrong with him.
What you mean? I'm looking at him.
I don't know what's wrong with him.
That's because most of y'all are not up when the sun gets up.
I'm up every morning before the sun comes up.
Me too. That's how I know.
Okay.
Anyway, but it's a lot. Anyway, man, let's talk about something else, man. I hurt my back this week,
You did.
and
It made your daughter very angry.
it made me angry because I was like, man, hurting my back, and then realizing I'm 38 years old. It's like, have I made it to that point of being old? And then I was like, but our 38 and 40 doesn't look like our parents 38 and 40. Like I always go back to those like memes and stuff they be saying like Carl Winslow was 36.
Carl Winslow 136.
But he depicted a man being 36. or
Carl,
38.
Carl Winslow
Like
was
he
36.
depicted a man being in his late 30s.
Well, I also think that you have to look at it from the standpoint of aging as well. Like not aging, but being a parent, because you're expected to be far more adult like
Yeah.
when you have children.
Yeah.
That's a running joke between me and one of my friends. Is that like she's like, I call you with my adult things because you're the adult in the room. Like I'm only a year older than her,
Oh.
but she's like, you're the adult in the room whenever I have questions. So literally she'll call me about like filling out medical forms and everything. And I'm like, the only reason that I know the answers to these questions is because I used to work in HR. I had to help other people fill out
Yeah.
these medical
Yeah.
forms. But I'm like, I need to read through your stuff to explain to you if this is a good or a bad
Yeah.
decision. But I also been trying to convince her to buy a house. So there's also that.
Nah, it's because stretching, man. I didn't stretch it and I was squatting heavy. That was just a dumb thing to do. So
Yeah, but Lily got mad at him because one day she came home from school and she wanted to go take a walk. And he said no, his back was hurting. She was like, why is back always hurting? He always got something wrong with his back.
and she had like it's just like all the time.
Well, it's been the last 3 days. And
Yeah,
that's when
like
she asked you the last three
first
days.
off, her asking me to go take a walk. Like when have we taken a walk? Like I don't take walks. Anyway, but yeah, man. So ladies and gentlemen, stretch. That's pretty much all I can tell you. What else happened this week, man?
I feel like I've been taxi cab Annie for the last 2 weeks. Um, Lily is doing well. She has another doctor's appointment coming up next week to follow up from her hospitalization. And then after that, unless something is wrong, we don't have to see any more specialists until June, which I've been trying to push everything to the summer. Um, just because I don't like interrupting her school day. She really enjoys going to school. And also, I just don't be wanting to go deal with kids if I don't have to. So, but she is doing well. She's still up playing. She we told about the highest point increase in her class and having the highest score in her class in math. And I didn't know that the accelerated reader was still around, but she's doing accelerated reader and she told me she got a treat for making a 100
Yeah.
on accelerated reader. I was like,
cereal has names now,
it
like
does.
actual names.
Oh no,
Rainbow cereal.
Rainbow cereal still don't have a name.
Rainbow cereal is Fruit Loops, by the way.
She
And
we went to Sam's Club, me, her, my mom, and Quad. And she said, I want to buy some rainbow cereal. My mama looked at me like I was supposed to know what rainbow cereal was. I was like, I am just the mom. I don't be knowing.
not just the mom.
So I thought she was gonna say Lucky Charms because I knew she had been coming home with Lucky Charms from school. And I pointed to the Lucky Charms and she was like, nope, not those. Yeah. And she kept on around the corner and she saw the Fruit Loops and was like, these really quiet.
Here, take these upstairs.
Put them in your room. And he said he doesn't go for walks. He literally used to be the parent to be like, let's go to the track and walk.
No, that was your idea.
I was like, let's get active. And then you pick the track.
Oh, okay. This dude here, man. Anyway.
You about to tell me this water's old?
No, that water's not good. I had some before, and I was like, "How does this water not taste real?"
It's bottled by Drink More Water.
Oh. Anyway, I wanted to bring up Talisa's book club,
Black Book Joy.
Black Book Joy. The book that y'all are reading
Oh, you're
This
not in the book club?
I never signed up for it. I
What you
just
mean?
got the book because seemed interesting.
It was my pick.
Yeah. So it's called The Sky Full of Elephants. I don't have a link for it. I don't know how you sign up for it. But we'll talk to Talisa later and we'll post it somewhere. But
I can post the link to the. Well, no, can I post the link to the book club? I don't know. If you go on what's the name of this app? Book Club, I think is what it's called. Book Clubs with an S.
but
Why
yeah,
is he doing this to
I
me?
don't know. The book is called Sky Full of Elephants, and I'm here to tell you it's solid. So check that. I just needed to say that because I indulged
I'll
in it
take it upstairs.
a lot yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was like, I really got into this.
Yeah.
Lord Jesus.
Quad just stumbled and almost went head first into a banister.
Yeah, he didn't, but yeah, thank
And
God.
then he did almost go head first
He,
into that
no,
banister.
I'm saying he didn't
Yeah.
go into it, but
Either head first or two first, but I guess that's still your head.
yeah. But yeah, check out Sky Full of Elephants. I don't know who's by Sibo.
Sibo is the first name. Let me see. Last
Yeah,
name is Campbell.
and
Sibo Campbell. Sky
Sibo
full of
Campbell,
elephants.
and join Talisa's book club because it's cool. Um, so
Oh, I'm at the halfway point of the book.
that's just halfway.
I mean, chapter
I
wise.
really thought I was closer to the end.
Mm, I mean, I'm talking about me.
All right, so talking about kids and being closer to the end, man. This is like I heard about this story, but I didn't dive deep into it. But three teenagers tried to kill their mom, unalive their mom, or plotted to unalive their
I was
mom.
wondering where you was going with being closer to the end. Did you put an article in here for this?
Now I put it on here, but I can't get it off of there.
Obviously.
But just type in three teens and mom. But three teens tried to unalive their mom. Um, they were 14, 15, and I think 16. And the reason why was because their mom cut off their Wi-Fi. Now we live in a dangerous time. One kid hit the mom with threw a rock or a brick at the mom. Pushed the grandmother out the way, who's 70. The mom, I think, was 39. I want to say.
I'm looking.
So, uh, I have a question for you. How do you react in that instance?
I don't know.
Like, what do you do? Because at that point, I would think it's me versus you,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, I'm a cheat. I
So,
ain't fighting fair. For what?
um, I don't know. So yeah,
How do
it
you
is
feel
14,
like
15, and 16 is how the kids are. Mom turned off the Wi-Fi. Actually, they sat together to devise a plan to get rid of her. And
you want to?
that was what they came up with. When the police arrived, it looks like there were not any knife marks on anybody. It just looked like an assault. And they all got booked in a juvenile detention center. I don't know. At this point, it's like they gonna stay there. I don't know how you like over the internet, but obviously this can't be the first time that the kids have like done something because you usually don't go from good kid, good kid, good kid off with her head.
In left field. That's the thing that I was thinking about. It was like you remember, like, or I don't know if y'all remember, but parents used to try to like make you fear them. You know what I'm saying? Growing up,
That's why they
like,
said they ain't want to go little friends.
yeah, right.
And then You be like 37 and one of their little friends.
Right.
Talking about myself.
Yeah, but it's like
Well,
you
Lily
be
says I'm one of her best friends now, so that's
do she?
interesting. Yeah.
She ain't
I
called
don't
me.
think we got very many more years of that.
Yeah, yeah. You got the span of time where like y'all gonna go at it. You ain't gonna know how to deal with it. Me and Quad gonna look at y'all like y'all crazy because
I feel like I'm going that quad already.
we gonna know how to deal with it.
This quad be on my nerves.
Quad gonna go go fix one of his toy cars, and I'm gonna be like, well, I'm gonna go in the garage.
um,
But no, like it's like it's not even like we grew up or growing up. Your parent is one way, and when you become a parent, you want to take those opportunities to um change some things that you didn't like while growing up, but you understand some of the core things that they taught you. One of the bigger things for me is I try not to yell at my kids. I try to be more understanding of what's going on for them and talk through some stuff.
mhm.
Sometimes you just have to make your point and that's the end of the conversation. But a lot of times I'm able to
You
sit
know
down.
how to do that?
Yeah.
Mm,
Um, it's different with adults.
mm,
But a lot of times because adults don't listen,
mm,
the kids do.
mm,
Uh, but a lot of times is it's that thing of you still want the respect of the parent of being the parent. In this
mhm.
case, I feel like I don't like it. It's my question is, was that the first time that she did that, and they
Couldn't
just
have been
like the kids need to see that you crazy from an early on stage.
if you indeed are.
Like that time I took the TV out of Lily's room for whatever she did,
Mm,
I meant that.
okay.
Nothing, Lily. Go ahead.
She like, why you talking about me?
Right.
Um, no clue what that is.
Yeah, you probably need to block that.
Um, I don't really know how you go from 0 to 100,
Hmm.
but that is absolutely what happened. And I don't know. Like, I don't know how you like bounce back from that. We said they were 14, 15, and 16.
Yeah,
Would you want to bet it was the 14-year-old that was the mastermind?
15-year-old
You
probably.
think it was the
Yeah, I
middle
think it
kid?
was the middle kid.
Mm. Where they daddy? Because they got to move in with him.
I don't know.
I'm just
But
saying they
that's
got
a
to move in
crazy
with him.
situation because as a parent, you want to make sure that your kids have everything that you had and more. A better situation, better lifestyle, better like environment to blossom and bloom.
Hmm.
Um a lot of times it doesn't happen that way,
Hmm.
because of the stresses of life, but in opportunities that it does. It was in Texas. In opportunity, that's crazy that I know that much about that story.
Well, I just read it, so I know.
Yeah, I like saw it a few days ago
Mm.
and
I
thought
don't know
about it
what
today.
city in Texas because I don't
Yeah, I
think it
haven't.
gave an actual city.
Yeah, but it's Texas. But you put a post in here about yeah, dad probably not around. But you put a post in here about O'Shea Jr.,
Hmm.
which I love the fact that he started acting
Hmm.
because I like the idea that parents parents should do things that kids want to grow up or fall back on. That's a hell of a thing to fall back on because you still have the choice to do whatever you want to. But
Hmm.
my dad has set me up, or my mom has set me up to be able to do this. Um, the thing that you said why you think you should have a hard life.
I mean,
Um,
that's basically what he said too. So somebody said that he was a nepo baby, and he was basically like, "And you said that like that's a terrible thing to be." And I definitely agree with him because Why do we think that everything has to be rooted in struggle?
Right.
Which kind of goes back to this book that we're reading for Talisa's book club. Like, everything does not have to be rooted in struggle, and you can figure out, if you can have a way of life that means that you don't have to struggle, why not go through that? Like, that was one of those things that everybody had the big beef with King, T.I. and Tiny
Yeah.
Son. He was like, I've been in these streets, I'm getting it out the mud. And
That's
we're like,
terrible. That's terrible,
why?
right? Like, why have you? Why
Why
you
do
want?
you feel like you needed to do that? What's the oldest son's name? Messiah. Messiah actually like was around
Messiah was
when
the
his daddy was trapping.
Messiah was the baby that he was talking about on I'm serious.
He got to see the hustle, and Messiah is like, I want to do music because my daddy did music, and my daddy's gonna pay for some studio time. So
Yeah, like the thing
put
about
me in, coach.
like I hate that people try to be like nepotism is terrible. When it's abused, it is. But when it's really nurtured and built, it's a beautiful thing to do, to see, because it's like you're set up in a time to give your children, your offspring, you build one layer
Mm-hmm,
of a castle, right?
mm-hmm.
But your offspring are put in a position to turn that castle into three more.
I look at it though, like, for example, uh Miley Cyrus and Billy Ray Cyrus.
Hmm.
Nobody looks at them and be like, Miley wouldn't have got nowhere if that wasn't her daddy. Why do we do that to black people?
I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
it doesn't
Is
make
it
sense.
because nepotism in the black community
Mm-hmm.
died in the 80s?
I don't think it ever was alive
Like
or well.
like the reason why I say the 80s, because like the destruction of the black family is it gets a little deeper, and
Okay.
this is just off the top of the brain, so I'm making it up as I go.
I see.
I
Go ahead.
hadn't done any research
Write
about this.
write your story. By all means.
Hadn't done
The
any
platform
research.
is yours.
This
Write
is
your story.
this is just me shooting from the hip.
Okay.
So the destruction of the black family caused where normal things or normalcy of success or succession was seen as different. And anything we see as different, especially in the black community, we want to um make it a negative thing, or talk
Mm-hmm.
about it, or downplay it and stuff like that, make it not cool,
Mm-hmm.
because we glorified drug dealers, we glorified pimps, we glorified stealing,
Mm-hmm.
all these negative things we've glorified.
Not snitching.
Not snitching. That's the to me that's the dumbest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you do something, yeah, you don't want nobody to tell on you, because the people that's supposed to figure it out, they got to figure it out.
Oh yeah, Hubert, I definitely agree with that. I think that we just have less examples of
Right.
it.
Nah, it happens, but it happens in areas that nobody's really paying attention to, because
Because
nobody pays attention to the fact that, i.e., the Jakes family, there's however many.
I look at like our local church. Much of the leadership positions held by ministers
Yeah.
are of the family.
Right.
Like, you marry into the family, you got a job until the church no longer exists,
Right.
or you decide to take your talents elsewhere.
Right.
But I don't know. I guess it's from the standpoint of, we don't have a lot of examples in our community. Hi, Cher. I don't know why I
Hey,
couldn't
sure.
get that out. We don't have a lot of it. We don't have a ton of examples in our community on the grander scale. But
Yeah.
we do have them on the smaller scale, i.e., the church.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. We practice it too. I was talking to one of my family members' in-laws, and she was like, if any of these babies ever want to do what I do, by all means, they got their first paid internship with me.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's the I feel
I'm
like
gonna figure it out.
that's the way it's supposed to be because I look at like my kids,
Hmm.
their friends, like TJ,
Hmm.
man, it's for me everything that I know, they should know how to do it and they should be better at it
Hmm.
because now they have more time to do what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because where I saw it as I take grilling for example. I started grilling when I was like 26 years old,
Hmm.
and I burnt up a lot of food at 26
Hmm.
that I had to eat. But you say at 7, I showed Lily how the safety features of grilling. 8, she actually starts cooking food. 9, she's burning food.
No, we haven't gotten to Marvin's Tap. I don't even know what time it is.
Yeah, I put
Marvin's
that.
Tap
I
is
was
out.
that was one of my things. I was gonna save that to
Okay.
closer to the end. One of those. We're gonna
Go,
finish with
go
this,
on cook.
but
You on grilling? Go on cook.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's like, man, you have more time. That's why you're built to be better. You built to be better than me, and I
Mhm.
give you the foundations of what I have. And so that's why I think that's my connection to this destruction of the black family and nepotism, because when the black family is destroyed, or when the family is destroyed, I don't even want to say just the black family, but when the family is destroyed, there's no teachers there
Mhm.
in the home. Like the focus is not, let me make sure that you learn something from me by me physically saying, hey, this is what we do here, this is what we do, and working with you. But the lessons come from what you see me doing.
Mhm.
And if the only thing I see you doing is struggle and hustling and bustling,
Mhm.
just trying to make ends meet, well, I'm gonna be better at making ends meet, but that's all I'm gonna do.
I was reading something a few weeks ago that was like, we won't get um a generation of Beyonce's and LeBron James's. No, they didn't include Beyonce. I know it was LeBron James and somebody else they said, because too many kids are growing up in two-parent households now. And I was
Mhm.
like, y'all do realize Beyonce grew up in a two-parent household. Like her daddy was her manager. And then like we can use that argument. They're like, you don't have anything to drive you out of the hood. And I'm like, everybody that has a good work ethic did not have to come from poverty.
Right.
Like, look at Seth. His daddy played in the league.
Who?
Seth and Steph,
Oh, okay.
the Currys.
Yeah.
They daddy played in the league. They are literally, I don't know why he's doing this. They're literally like figuring it all out, but they didn't have to come from the poverty line.
Yeah. Why you say look at self and
I
not?
said I meant Steph,
Yeah.
but I said
It's
Steph.
self was like.
It was right there. They brothers.
They are brothers. That's why I was like, huh? I don't even know if Seth still play in the league.
Bless you.
No, Michael Jordan was a 2-parent household.
I mean, then
Magic was a 2-parent house. Like
well,
the
Magic.
Magic at his time was was a the best player in the league at some point. Um
Can you stop? No. Okay.
I
Well,
don't know. I don't know how to respond to Hubert.
but the family has been destroyed due to the rejection of traditional religious family structure and the adoption of feminist mindset, even in Christians who are cooked.
I don't think that's
Mm-mm.
where the destruction of the family. I think now we're
No.
on a rebuilding of the family because we do hear a lot of I guess it's my in my reality there's 2-parent households, mom and dad in the household.
Mhm.
Um and for me it's okay for women to want independence and stuff like that, long as they, like make good decisions with their family in mind. It's like I believe that two people should work.
Yeah.
you know, because of the cost of living nowadays.
But what if you don't have to have two people
If you
working?
don't
What
have
if there's
to,
enough money?
if there's enough money for one person or just one source of income, then by all means, y'all figure out something, another plan for like whatever goal y'all trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like not saying that work is always going to clock in and get a 9 to 5. Work is what we're planning to do. Like if we have a trip planned and we need to make sure that we can get there and happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plug your computer
Okay.
up. I mean it's difficult, but we did.
What you got?
Can't buy a house on one salary. It's like you ain't gonna get the biggest house in the neighborhood, but you can buy a house on one salary. But
I think it just honestly and truly depends on the salary. Like, unfortunately, and this is something that me and a coworker talked about almost a decade ago about purchasing a home on one salary. We were discussing it not just on one salary, but on minimum wage, and how
nah, you
it's
can't do
impossible.
that.
But if it's impossible to purchase a home on a minimum wage salary, why is that the minimum wage?
It shouldn't be.
Exactly. That's the conversation that we were having,
Yeah.
because she was telling me about working at a department store, and she bought her home working at the department store, and she was like, historically, when you work in the mall, unless you're in management, you don't make a lot of money. And like, not just, like a department manager,
Mm-hmm.
like you need to be like the store manager to be making money of any type.
Yeah.
And she was like, people couldn't believe when I bought my house. She was like, now, do I have a very expensive home? No. But she was like, is it mine? Yes. Is it almost paid off? Yes. But she had been she had been working there for so long that she also likely
Stop.
wasn't the minimum wage earner.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta think about it. She started when minimum wage was a lot lower than what it is
Right.
now. So
I see it.
um yeah, I mean, Cher, it's difficult here. Like, we're in Metro Atlanta, and I remember before Lily was born, we were looking at moving to Nashville. And when we started looking at the home prices
Stop.
there in the areas that we wanted to live in, it was increasingly difficult to find homes that we could afford to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our salaries were a lot more limited than they are now, but we were both working at that time and both working full time. No. And I don't know. The 100K a year minimum, it puts you in specific neighborhoods that you want to be in. But a lot of our home buying issues here are also debt. Being sold the dream of, you can purchase a home. I mean, not purchase a home. You can go to college with student loans, and then you get out of school and you have this student loan debt, and then you have to utilize that student loan debt in your debt to income ratio. And it's just hard to get qualified for anything. Like, I mean, but when we were buying this house, you did. I know that's like a different thing now, but I don't know if it's how many people have been impacted because they don't know the rules. And I realized a lot about um the real estate process is that people just don't know the rules. And if you don't know the rules, a little bit harder to navigate all that. I can't remember what we started out talking about. What did we start off talking about?
The black family being destroyed.
Okay.
Nepotism.
Nepotism. To go back to nepotism, I do believe that we we look at things negatively, such as nepotism, because we think that these are untalented people that have gotten these opportunities. But in a lot of instances, there are talented people that have gotten these opportunities. And with people being talented, we overlook it a little bit, i.e., the Miley Cyruses of the world, or what? Tommy said Brandon James. I'm not going there. Um, Hubert said buy a house, not some big house where you barely use most of that square footage. We have to fund our own retirement without taxing our children. Absolutely. And then in some instances, based on our salary or life circumstances, we might need to look at living multi-generationally, which we've gotten away from as a people. Um, is that mine?
Would you like one?
No, I'll get one in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Um, it's it's just one of those things where people give you the opportunity to do something, let it be your parents or grandparent or something like that, and you take it. You try to do it to the best of your abilities, and I think that that's where the issue comes in, is when people aren't good at it.
Yeah.
And that's when we can point it out as nepotism and we don't like it. But I don't think O'Shea is a bad actor.
Nah.
So good morning, Talisa. We just
Lisa
talked
Ray,
about
we did.
the book or the book club.
Put your book club link in there.
Yeah, so the people can join. Tommy's actually reading the book too. Look at him.
Look at God.
Okay. Anyways, what was you gonna talk about?
So we talked about O'Shea.
Mm-hmm.
O'Shea is actually pretty good. I think his best role was when he played his daddy.
Well, it's very easy to play your parent because you got the mannerisms down.
But I'm just saying, it was like really like it was believable. You know, when you see a biopic, who called it that? I would have said biopic, but that's me.
Some people do say biopic.
When you
It's
see,
like tomato.
when you see something like that, that's what the person looks like in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
When you see him in Straight Outta Compton, you're like, wow, he really looked like that, because you can look at the pictures and stuff like that. But anyway, what's next we can talk about? Oh, Juju Watkins. Did you see that in Jalen Daniels?
Mm-hmm. And
Jaden Daniels sitting next to each other, and then his mama.
his mama was like, break it
They
up.
got the camera right here. You ain't finna go down like that. Look. Do you think she overreacted?
For them sitting next to each other, yeah, a little
Now
bit.
you know who Jaden Daniels is.
Yeah.
He's quarterback for the Washington
Yeah.
Commanders.
And he's like what, 25,
He's
26?
I think this was his rookie season.
Yeah, but he's like 25, 26.
Yeah, something like that.
She's 19.
Maybe. I don't know how old they are.
Sitting next to each other at a game does not create a relationship. And it also does not mean that you have to intervene and put yourself in between them.
Yeah.
Was they having too much fun?
They were smiling too hard. Because if you see their faces after she sat down,
everybody had a straight face.
Everybody's like, she here now.
No, I don't think that I would have tried to separate the two of them with myself. There are instances where I will insert myself in between people because we're not going to act up. Usually it's church.
Mm-hmm.
Or some type of serious event. Yeah. But if it's a sporting event or somewhere to actually have fun, do y'all.
Yeah.
He'll probably forget about you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Although he has the access to get back to you tomorrow too. So whatever his mom did,
man, I hope she recovers too, man.
Wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. I think he's funny. I think she overreacted.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get you want your son to stay focused on football and doing his job because you his manager, also his mom. But I mean, you gotta let this man live.
Mm-hmm.
You know, You like he either the way I look at it is either you let him do it and you know about it,
I mean, at
or you
26
hear
years
about it.
old, even as my mother and my manager, if you separate those duties, you still can't tell me what to do.
Right, right. But a lot of times, man, people listen to their parents up until they're like in their 20s. They still feel like a child.
No, I get it. I'm not saying that that's the case, but again, with his access, you think that you sitting between them is really gonna stop them from talking to each other?
Hey, I said the silliest thing the other day about men.
What?
I was like, we was talking about the immaturity of men versus the maturity of women.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, look, boys are slightly stupid, slightly, when it comes to the mind growth of girls.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but we get there eventually. It takes a little pushing, you know.
But again, sitting between these two people
Yeah,
is not going to decrease their access to each other.
right, right, right. I don't, and honestly, I don't.
He knows who she is. It's real easy
Right.
to get in the DMs
I just feel like
because that's what the young people do now. They don't get phone
I
numbers.
feel like yeah, right. I feel like we're looking at it from the outside in, of course, but I think um I don't know. I don't get why she would have just I would have told him slide over, you know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? In that sense, because they in a relaxed position and everything like that. And if he was shooting his shot, she could have that could have assisted. Because now I want us to finish our conversation. All you gotta do, she was keying and smiling and stuff. All you gotta do is make her laugh.
And they could have just been checking somebody. You never know.
Yeah,
It
that's
literally could have
that's
just been.
the that's the funny part, man. You never know if I'm sitting over talking to somebody, I'm either checking somebody or and we laughing. Yeah, I'm 9 times out of 10 I'm checking somebody.
We talking about something funny that happened.
Something funny that happened to somebody. Um, what else I got on here, man? I'm just going through my list of things. I've been watching The White Lotus.
Mm-hmm. And you
Um,
keep calling Natasha Kelly.
I do,
Did
I do,
you finish Insecure?
I did,
No.
I did. It was I was gonna say a hurricane, earthquake in Thailand. In
Mm-hmm.
Thailand, is it Thailand or Thailand?
Thailand.
In Myanmar,
Not Thailand.
after it was a 7.7 magnitude and 140 people.
Mm-hmm. There was an apartment building that
Oh,
collapsed because much of the living in Thailand is in high rises.
yeah. What is Thailand on like a earth fault or something?
I don't know.
Because it seems like it happens more than not over there.
Oh, I don't know
Does
about
the
Thailand
earthquake
specifically.
cause the wave like a
It's God, what is the word? Typhoon.
typhoon? It causes that.
They
Did
can.
did that happen?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen any alerts for that.
Oh, okay.
Earthquake in Thailand. Hope the passport bros are okay because they over there
The
getting their
passport
lives
bros is the dudes that be over there just.
to try to find a tsunami. I knew it was a T word. I'm like, it's a
What's the
T.
difference from a typhoon and a
I
tsunami?
don't know. Google. You're not gonna Google.
Nah, I'm not gonna Google that. Talisa, y'all had tsunamis over there? Um,
A typhoon is a hurricane.
on the water.
It's a hurricane. We just call
Oh,
them hurricanes here.
okay. I got you.
I'm like, they something else. I knew it was
Typhoon
a
over
T
there.
word. Yeah, knew it was a T word. It's a tsunami.
Is typhoon like not an English word?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
But that's why you never hear about hurricanes over
They
there
don't.
because they don't call them hurricanes over
So
there.
they have. It's just everything's so interesting to
Like
me now.
it's crazy to me that Memphis sits on a fault
Yeah.
and I have only felt one
Ain't the Grand Canyon an
very
earthquake? I
small.
mean, not an earthquake, but a volcano. Not the Grand Canyon. Yellowstone. Anyway, man, I'm gonna get off this topic because I don't know what I'm talking about. Do you want to talk about Texas Gate? About the war plans or the war
I
celebrations?
I just don't understand. And I feel like if Gaslight was a person,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
conversation,
this whole administration is gaslighting the heck out of us.
like that wasn't war plans.
It yeah,
What?
it was.
Who? Be like, you think I'm stupid, don't you?
Yeah. You don't think I can
There's
read, do you?
apparently some type of protests happening this, not this weekend, next weekend.
Yeah.
And it's been all these people talking about some black people. This is not your fight. Don't go outside with them. I was like, I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Right. I ain't like have nothing to do with me.
I don't know anything about that.
I just think
Yeah, I don't get how it was
the
the
angry over
journalists. I don't get how it was the journalist's fault. You text
you
me.
put me in there.
You text me.
And he probably thinking about it like, this is nothing, like they just added me here and it's legit, so and then they start doing that, like, bro, come on. What are
And
you doing?
it's a journalist. It's his job to report the news.
Yeah.
All he did was reported the facts. This
Th-
what they sent
this
me.
this is what they sent me, man.
I should not be in this group chat.
If
Matter of fact,
if
this
you
should not be a group chat.
right, if he got paid to do what he did, why wouldn't he do that?
I protested on election day by casting my vote. I'm not marching nowhere.
Nah, I ain't
I
going.
mean,
I'm finna. The only place I'm a march is to get my back feeling better, and outside, in my backyard.
on April 5th, I got a couple of things planned. None of them involve protesting anything.
Yeah. But I saw that and like everybody's talking about it, and I was like, this is stupid. Like, why would you even like? Yeah, I think they did too. Why would you even like? That's like, why would you celebrate that? You know what I'm saying? Like you have to think about you have to think about you're actually unaliving a group of people. They may be bad. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that, but you have to think about that. Then you think about the people.
Well, now you gotta change your plans.
Right now, you got to stop doing what you're doing.
No, you don't have to stop doing it. You just gotta alternate your plans because
I don't think they protesting the Democrats per se, Hubert. I think what the protest or what people are complaining about is just how the direction of things are going. This is their way of saying, we made a mistake.
um, and I think that's why they're telling black people don't get involved because you didn't make them that mistake.
Right.
They wouldn't.
Some of us did.
I mean, I'm saying largely as a whole.
Yeah, largely no. But
Um,
it's I don't even think anything is about the different parties at this point. I just think
this
we're
is
at
when we get into the American people.
that's what I think it is. It's just the Americans
Mhm.
are and it was an article that somebody was talking about that like we are in a time of some sort of reset. They didn't say that, but it's like the meaning is that why is quiet? Why right here?
Mhm.
But anyway, I just think that was a dumb mistake, and if it was anybody else, them folks would be fired. Them folks would be probably in jail right now. And that's pretty much all I gotta say.
I don't know anyone that would openly tell me that that's who they voted for.
Yeah,
Um, I do know that there have been people that I have been friendly with that were proud Republicans. But I also have to say that most of them have been able to separate themselves as a Republican versus a Trumper. So I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
I think I could. The only thing is that I would avoid that conversation because
Tommy's Mr. Inclusive.
I would avoid that conversation because I think anybody that can support him, I don't think they're thinking straight.
I knew that was about to
Yeah, I
happen.
did too. But anyway,
Quari's doing a
let's talk
lot.
about this Marvin Sapp thing, man. I think that was hilarious.
Never would have paid.
Never would have paid it.
So he says that this was some type of conference.
Y'all stop. Put it down, man. Put it down.
Or something.
Y'all, are you gonna eat? Go on back upstairs, man. Go on and finish watching your TV show.
Lily, turn that tablet down. Turn the tablet down.
Go.
Turn it down. Um. So he said that this was like some conference with like 4,000 people in attendance in person, and then there was a plethora of people online. So
no, just turn it down. Some.
That was one of the reasons that we were able to have access to it. It was because it was filmed.
You need to hear that.
He also says that he was challenged to get people to raise $40,000, so he just put a number on it and was like, he asked all the leaders in the room to give at least $100 or more, and each individual to give at least $20 if they were not a leader.
That man turned into Joe Claude. Ushers, close them doors.
Now, I thought that was a bit odd because well, I guess I shouldn't say I think that was odd. I've been to like conferences and services and things of that nature where they're asking people to give large dollar amounts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get that. But usually in that type of setting, the doors get pulled anyways because that's what you do during offering time, right?
You're not supposed to be able to come in.
I mean, it's like during the initial prayer. Okay. During the initial prayer, like to start church service, they usually have the doors closed.
Yeah.
Nobody locks the doors, but the doors to the sanctuary are typically closed because there's always stuff going on in the hallways.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what he's raising money for, Talisa. I didn't get that. He said he was asked to help raise this $40,000 that was needed. I don't know what the $40,000 was for, but that's what he did. I also don't understand. Did he say lock the doors?
No, he just said close. He just said close.
So closing the doors isn't really a thing because doors are closed. Like if you go to religious ceremonies, doors are closed during certain times. The only time specifically that you be like the doors of the church are open.
How many times?
Go ahead. Go with her. The doors of the church are open when they're giving the invitation to Christ.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the doors are usually pulled up.
I hope he got the 40K. I like his math though.
What?
If everybody give $20, we can give 40K.
Well, he said he gave a lot more than what he was asking other people to give, but he also likely has a lot more than the other people that were in the room. I don't know. I think that
it's funny because of how demanding he was.
And he said this happened over a year ago, so we don't even know why this video is just now resurfacing.
I don't. Why does anything resurface on the internet?
I don't know.
For likes and clicks. But
I wanted to find something to do. Yeah. He probably didn't really keep people from leaving. A rough play on words. I don't think he did. I think it was literally just a close the doors.
Close the door.
Because that's what is said.
What Teddy P say?
Well, actually, it's not said. It is something that is understood during offering time.
Yeah.
There are certain times of services where things are just understood that the ushers have been told to close the door so they don't have to directly be directed to do so. Mm-hmm. But there's been times in service where, like when Tommy was doing media for our church, where he would be told something from the pulpit. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where agreed, Deshauna. It looks crazy to those who don't know or understand, But also in most situations, an usher doesn't have to be directed to do those things. It's things that are just
It
done.
used to be fun, so funny to me, like when they would be singing
Hmm.
and they should start pointing. I'd be like, all right, I know exactly what you. But the thing about that, or when the bishop get up and like turn me up a little bit,
Hmm.
it be like, all right, man, cut
Hmm.
you up a little bit, man. But I always thought it was funny, man. And then like you go back and you be like, what was going on?
Yeah.
That's something I always did.
And Lisa said in mega churches is to prevent robbery. Any church that got Marvin Sapp in there in the pulpit
Yeah,
is a mega church.
yeah.
He ain't coming
That was
out.
a Pentecostal convention.
Right. But I'm saying it was 40,000. I mean, it was 4,000 people
Yeah, it
in
was a
the
lot of people.
building. Marvin Sapp is not showing up to your auntie Janice's church who only got 47 members
Hmm.
and say, lock the doors until we get $40,000. These people don't have $40,000
Yeah.
collectively. They got to go hawk the house, as
Hmm.
Queen says.
Um, but no, man, it's I don't know, it's for them.
Yeah.
It's I thought it was funny though.
Let me see if I can Google what was Marvin Sapp raising money for.
Yeah, I have no clue what he was raising money for, but um, it's always funny. Close the doors, ushers. Close the doors. It's just funny how he said it, man. Man, people like it's been some can we say robbery?
I guess. I don't know.
I be like, what can we say? I need a list. It be some people that go like we've seen recently where I seen the dumbest thing on the internet. Uh, this very morning, a dude went to the airport, and this off subject. Dude went to the airport and was like, got all this cash. I'm in Atlanta for the weekend. And they said the very next clip was like, that guy got robbed by gunpoint after making this viral video. I was like, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, I haven't in church. Right, I ain't been going, but before that, pre-pandemic, Artika didn't go up and give during offering.
No, I
Once
text
you
mine.
once you get text to give,
Hmm.
consider me on that. I might even do it before I make it to church
Hmm.
because at this point, I'm not going out of my way to go to the bank to give y'all some cash that y'all got to go put back in the bank.
Hmm.
Like I'm making it easy for
Did
somebody
you
else.
do you used to go to church and like you ain't have an offering, but you would get up and walk around anyway?
No.
Or they passed the plate. Yeah, some of them passed. Some the smaller ones get like my grandma's church. Yeah, everybody got up and went around. I
Mhm.
just walk around.
Mm-mm. I don't see the need to pretend like I had some money that I didn't have. Now, my mom, obviously, this was pre me having a job. My
Yeah,
mom would give me a
yeah,
couple
yeah,
of
yeah,
dollars
yeah.
to walk around.
Me and my sister went to church together.
Yeah.
Like it's the craziest thing now that I think about it. We grew up going to church across the street from the church that my grandma went to.
Bishop Gucci is an isolated
Yeah,
experience because what did he go to jail for?
I don't know. I feel
Wasn't
like
it money laundering?
something like that. I feel like those flashy preachers and stuff
Uh-huh.
play into the stereotype that preachers are um gaining people, gaming people.
And I feel like putting a empty envelope in the thing, especially if you fill it out, is a waste of
No,
resources.
I never filled out an envelope. I just got up and
it's
walked around.
it was it's a waste of resources because wire fraud, that makes sense. Knew it was a money crime.
Yeah.
Bishop Gucci was loud in a quiet way, both him and his wife. Another reason in conservative churches they don't have some of these problems.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's a lot of it is because we need to stunt on people to show that we have more than them, and then people start realizing that stuff don't add up. You the pastor of a church with 200 people, but you saying that the church has blessed you to do all these things. Them
Somebody
200 people ain't got that much money to bless you with the things that you have.
somebody said stunting is a habit.
That's,
Put it in there.
and they be
Wasn't
going
that
to
the young
jail.
job?
I don't know. I know the song, but I don't know the artist.
You sent me a clip of
Mhm.
Crank that
They
Batman.
was cranking it in their wedding pictures.
Man,
I was like,
I couldn't
Men's
remember.
Warehouse.
I could not remember how to do that.
Men's Warehouse want their money back when
But
y'all pop these
I
things.
used to crank everything, man.
You did. You did.
Crank that Lion King, that Spider Man, that Superman,
Mm-hmm.
crank that Batman,
Mm-hmm.
uh, crank that Yank. That was my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
uh, they made so many. That was a beautiful time in to be alive, to be young and 19, 18, and no, we was like 20, 21. We was drinking then. We was drinking, you know what I'm saying? Uh man, it's man, it was a great time, man. I enjoyed myself cranking that.
Yeah.
But then to find out what the crank that Superman was like really a thing, I was
You didn't think it was a thing?
like I ain't know what it like. I ain't never pay attention to what it like actually was saying do. But when I heard what it said do, I was like, why would somebody do that?
Drugs.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I do all of that after, you know? But anyway,
RFK is very
what
scared.
happened?
She said top U.S. vaccine official resigns over RFK Jr.'s misinformation and lies.
Man.
That's why the people who believe the things that they want to believe
Mm-hmm.
are going to get the consequences of their beliefs, whether that's good, that's bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
It's kind of like telling people have the day that you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to believe or not believe or have whatever like thought process that you want to have, you have the consequences of that with your belief system. This is, I think, the biggest show and tell of that
Mm-hmm.
is like looking at just in general when you see like these groups of people that are like now have measles
Yeah.
and they're like, I thought measles was gone. I was like, no,
Yeah,
measles
because of the
measles had a
vaccine, dum dum.
vaccine and you chose to not get the vaccine.
Come on, dum
So
dum.
now you have it. And that's something that we actually I learned a lot more about vaccines while Lily was in the hospital this time because I got to talk to infectious diseases. And we were talking about herpes simplex specifically
Mm-hmm.
because there's chickenpox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about chickenpox and shingles and it was something else. And so I asked the question because they say that those of us that had chickenpox in our youth in our like 50s and 60s are at risk to get shingles. I was like, well, my child got a vaccine for chickenpox. Is she going to be at risk for something else?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it a shingles like virus that's going to appear that's going to be called something else when she hits her 50s and 60s?
Yeah.
And I've discussed this with her pediatrician as well as with infectious diseases because her pediatrician didn't grow up. Well, she came to the US like middle school, high school years. And she was telling us that she never got chickenpox in her country. And when she got to the States, she had to get a chickenpox vaccine.
Yeah.
So she was like, there's still ongoing studies about the vaccines and how they work and how things change. But it's like, you can choose to believe whatever you want to believe, but there's also research.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's out here being the guinea pig, so you don't have to.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It just I told Tommy we gotta figure out if this goes completely to hell, what country do you escape to?
Hmm.
And that's just
Did you see where Canada was like, we're done with the US?
Yeah, I saw that they pulled like all the US based wines and stuff. What?
I want Mr. One baby. He make me baby. And mama.
Okay, I'll turn it
Mhm.
back on in your room.
That was the longest sentence to say one
No,
thing.
I got it.
Let him do it.
I will.
This one.
No,
See?
that one.
Okay. Okay, bye.
Yeah,
Well, I told him no at first because it wasn't connected to his TV. Alarm as Florida Republicans move to fill deported workers' jobs with children. It's insane, right? How do you fill jobs with
kids.
children?
I don't know. It's crazy. I saw
Yes, I heard words out of that. He said he wants to watch Blippy
hey,
and
high
Mika
vibe.
in his room. He said a lot of the words multiple times, but that's the gist of it. He wants to watch Blippy and Mika in his room. Why do we say we need to import foreigners, even import them illegally when teenagers used to work at these resorts? College students should be doing all of this stuff. That's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's it's the best thing I can say about where we are and what's going on is do better next time. That's the best because it's like we're on a roller coaster that is too bumpy,
Mm-hmm.
and we can't do nothing. We can't do anything about it until we're at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like things are gonna happen. We just have to make sure that we're safe. We got everything locked down, and the people that's with us are good too.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have to deal with that until because I mean, like the country came together and voted for this.
Oh, D, look, we been in your neighborhood then. Tommy's cousin owns a business literally where you could see the tunnel from his
Yeah,
business.
that tunnel is scary too. Like after a
Mhm.
while, you're excited at first, but then after a while, you're like, all right, man,
What
I'm
is it
ready to
that he
be.
watched the Grand Prix? He watches that like he
Yeah,
goes to his job to watch the Grand
yeah.
Prix.
Clench your butt cheeks. Yes, yeah, boy. You just what my father-in-law say. Put your safety cap on.
He
Put
better
your
put
seat.
your seatbelt
Put your seatbelt on. Like yes, sir. Cause man, we on a ride. And we got some time left.
Why does he have so many bottles of water?
We got some time left, and we're just in it. We ain't even make to 100 days.
It's like,
I just
whew,
realized that
my God,
we hadn't
today.
made it to 100 days. But I mean the last wildest thing I've heard that I was like I don't understand the point
Mhm.
is that an EO executive order was signed to remove. They were talking about removing like things that show that help. Um, it sanitizes the history. So African
Okay,
American museums talking about what is it Jim Crow,
mhm,
like eliminating that
mhm.
and stuff like that. And I'm like what's the plan?
I don't know the what do they call it? The Blacksonian. It's gonna go away. Hey, don't do that. The Blacksonian is gonna go away because they obviously
The
were
black.
saying federal. The Black Smithsonian.
Oh, okay.
They gonna lose all their federal funding, obviously,
Yeah.
and they gonna be looking at us to fund it and keep it open.
Right. Like that's all that's gonna happen, and it's like you're looking at it and you're like one thing I don't understand is people wanting to um clean up history
Hmm.
when this is fact that things happen,
Hmm.
right? Like if
Why are they
I
here?
don't know if you got into a fight in the fifth grade and lost, right?
No, go ahead and put them in his room.
If you got into a fight in the fifth grade
Okay.
and you broke your arm and it wasn't pretty as to why you got into that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then you be like, well, I want to change why we got into a fight from the beginning. Instead of getting into a fight over a girl, you got into a fight because you were pushed at lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but that didn't happen though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you got into a fight because you just a girl dumped you, or
Go
she
get your
started
cup.
fooling with somebody else.
Go get your cup.
That's the word I was looking for. Whitewashing. Like, I don't get how does it help in whitewashing what happened?
It makes white people feel better about the things
That's
that
probably a bad idea
that
about
their
all these
ancestors have done.
electronics.
Go this way. Go that way.
You say what?
It's making your
Mhm.
family not look as bad for the things that they've done.
But it's terrible anyway. But we could talk for years
I mean,
about.
again, it's
I can't wait till the documentary come
we're
out.
just doing it. Well, not we. They're doing it on a grander scale than we do it with. That's still your mom.
Yeah,
That's
man.
still your auntie.
And
That's still your
I
daddy.
don't abide by those rules.
Right, but I'm saying it's just a grander scale of that.
Mhm.
This is still my family, and you will not speak ill of them. So off with all of the black stuff.
Well, the funny part about it, man, is really, and I think I talked to you about this conversation I had about the term of being woke.
Yeah, because it doesn't mean what
It doesn't
they
mean
think it
what
means.
people are using it for.
Mhm.
What is popularly whitewashed to.
Well, that's another one of those
It's
things.
like DEI.
You can take something and you can turn it into something else because you don't know what it means.
Stay woke.
They're trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah, that's funny. Anyway, guys, that's it.
All right.
You got anything else?
Mm-mm. Your kids have just thrown off my train of thought because
Well,
Lily keep asking me random questions that don't make sense.
so
I agree. There needs to be a la the Trap Museum because that was never gonna get any federal funding anyways.
yeah,
T.I. and whomever else, 2 Chainz put their money together,
that's true, Tabitha. That is true.
created the
Talisa, have a good day.
they created
When the
their
book club
museum. It's
meet?
April 5th, Tommy.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
What time is it? So I can see if I'm gonna be
Bye, y'all. 'Cause I'm tired of
there.
him.
I don't know if we doing what we doing Sunday. I don't know if we going on with Jack and Glenn. So maybe not. We'll see tomorrow. We got a couple things to do out in the garden. It's gardening season, y'all. Yay. Um, what else? You finishing up Women's Month? Okay, we're done with Women's Month. And yeah, see you guys this week. We out. Peace.
Bye, y'all.